Hi, my name is Wan. I am a process facilitator based in Singapore. Today, I would like to share some ideas to improve presence for hybrid meetings through some suggested setup. In this sharing, I refer hybrid meeting when some participants are in a common physical space while the rest are on an online platform like Zoom. And setup is what I prefer about arrangement of physical layout, hardware and software to help us to achieve the outcome that we hope for and design for. And present to me is how do we help the participant to feel that we are together for a common purpose, for an action plan, despite we are in different spaces. Let's get started. So before I share the strategy, let's uh, me share the most common challenge for hybrid meeting. Because of different physical spaces, some of us may feel difficulties in exchanging information and probably the constraint of the environment as well. So to help to improve present for the hybrid meeting, I am proposing to have a strategy to allow information to flow freely between the face-to-face participants and online participants. And information is not just about spoken words, it's also about visual information like facial expressions, maybe some documents that participants have shared online, and vice versa, sharing physical information to online participants. And what are some ways to make sure the flow of information is smooth? Here is some idea. First idea is about having more visual and audio aids to capture the information and exchange between different spaces. And second idea is about broadcasting information to all the participants, including online content like chats and documents. And you may ask, how would we, how would more visual and audio aids help flow of information? I would like to share two examples. The first example is about a meeting in around a long table. Imagine people are sitting around the long table. How would we ensure flow of information is smooth? One way is to have more visual devices to capture the activity in the physical meeting room. We can use a wide angle lens and maybe also put some additional webcam around the office, like how I move this webcam that will allowed us to capture the movement and possibly sometimes facial expression from different participants in the physical meeting room. And second way about capturing more about the all the information in the physical room is maybe if the room is not too big, we can use a table speaker, like between 2 to 5 people in the physical room. We may use a table speaker. And when the room is getting larger, it's possible that participants sitting further away from table speaking, they may not able to speak to the speaker easily. And therefore, another option is use wireless mic. And I won't go into details of wireless mic. It means that there is a few mic that we can pass around if we want to speak and share some information with the online participants. Thanks to the pandemic and popularity of social media, many of these devices are getting cheaper, and most of the generic brand for webcam or wireless mic may not cost more than $100, and that may help us to capture more visual and audio information without having a huge budget. And second example is when there are a few small table and people sit around this table. And for the visual information, we can have more webcam. And in this case, because there are two small spaces within a bigger physical space, I would suggest that we use smartphone as a way to capture information and audio in each table. And whenever people would like to speak and share with online participants, they can speak to the smartphone directly. And if there's too much echo, we can also use wireless mic. And again, because smartphones are available easily for everyone, cost has been kept to a reasonable range. And here is some example. By having more visual and audio aids, we allow information from the physical meeting room being shared with online participants. How about the other way? How do we share information from online to the physical participants face to face? You see, there is a big screen TV that is a device for broadcasting. The big screen TV can be used to broadcast what will be happening on the online world, including the chat, document we share, or maybe even drawing we share. So that through the big screen TV, we can share all the information generated through the online participant to the face-to-face participant in the physical office. That's right. There are at least two examples how the additional visual and audio devices help us to keep the flow of information between uh, face-to-face participant and online participants smoother. And One challenge we seldom tackle is in hybrid meeting, just like online meeting, the main mode of communication is not synchronous communication. It's about asynchronous communication. That means in a meeting, we exchange some information, maybe we make a decision, and the communication will not stop during the meeting. It may continue in another time, another space for further discussion. And a lot of time, because information are shared in different spaces and the different time zone, a lot of time participants are losing track of the flow of information. Therefore, to help the present, we need to help the people to process information asynchronously. And second idea about improving presence is to help the participant to share information, idea, decisions that happen in different spaces and different time zones to all the participants and interested stakeholders, regardless where they are and when they access information. Therefore, it's vital to have some way to capture all this information that happen in an asynchronous fashion in a central location, and also help to capture what has been discussed or maybe decision that made in a meeting, so that in the much later stage we can refer back the information happen in different spaces and different time, and therefore all this idea from having more visual and audio aids and allowing participants to process information asynchronously help the participant to feel that it's easier to understand each other, and maybe it also increases the opportunity and the possibility despite different constraints. They feel that they're still able to connect with each other through presence. And here are some ideas. Thank you for listening.